Dear friends, we all know that in the post-corona world, the business environment is not going to be the same again. Until the vaccine for COVID is available and all of us are vaccinated, people would prefer to keep safe distance. The medical equipment and allied healthcare industry have always been Salesforce-centric, where the salespeople used to meet a prospective client, understand his specific needs and wants, present the solution, and thereby close the deal. Face-to-face meetings have always been the core of this business model for many years. In such a post-corona situation, when the clients do not prefer face-to-face meetings, the sales professionals have to find newer ways to engage with the customers and promote their products. Most companies are doing their internal meetings through video conferencing these days. And I guess that moving forward, the corporate clients would also be willing to hook onto the video call to discuss business with company officials. However, except a few corporate clients, the larger customer population may not be willing to get into a video call with a salesperson, especially during their busy working hours. How then would a salesperson be able to promote his product or service to a prospective client? One of the possibilities that I see is a greater dependence on telephonic or voice calls. That means instead of face-to-face meetings, there will be more phone-to-phone calls where the salesperson calls a customer at his convenient time to promote the product or service. This would pose a few challenges to the salespeople. They have been used to visiting customers and having longer discussion to understand the customer's specific needs and wants and presenting the products, while able to see the body language of the customer and to make judgment whether he is convinced or not. Normally, the salespeople are trained on how to make excellent face-to-face sales calls. But instead of the face-to-face calls, now the salespeople have to do more of telephonic sales calls. I will now tell you a few important points how you can maximize the impact of your telephone sales calls. So, my first point is schedule telephonic sales calls. This is a paradigm shift. Earlier, the salespeople used to fix up the appointment with the customers before they used to visit them by calling them over a telephone or sending them a mail. But now, before scheduling a telephonic sales call or a business call, as I would say, you need to either mail the customer or send a WhatsApp or an SMS saying that something like this: "Dear doctor, hope you're fine. I would like to call you tomorrow at your convenient time to discuss about my new equipment that can do COVID testing," or something like that. And doctor replies back, "Call me tomorrow at 10 a.m. and you say, "Sure." So my next point is, please call the customer at the exact time of the call scheduled. No delays at all, okay? In a face-to-face meeting, a 5 to 10 minutes of delay, that too in rare instances, are probably expected or accepted by our client because he may think that you got delayed due to a poor traffic or something like that. But for a phone call, no delays are accepted. By chance, you couldn't schedule the call and you straight away phoned up the customer. Then the etiquettes demand that you check with him whether he has a few minutes to discuss with you before you start the business discussion. Make sure that there is no distracting noise from the background when you make the scheduled customer call. Avoid calling the customers while traveling, since the sound of your vehicle as well as the traffic will not allow you to be heard properly. In face-to-face meetings, you have the flexibility of time to probe the customer to understand his needs and wants, as well as detail your product and also narrate other users' experiences. But over the phone, you would have to come straight to the point without beating around the bush, which means you must have a greater understanding and insights about the customer's pain points and how your product or service is going to address it. That demands crisp and clear communication from your side about your product's value proposition. Just because I said do not beat around the bush and come to the point, it doesn't mean that you do not have time for some small talk during the scheduled call. In fact, on the telephone too, you need to have small talk, but the time allocated to that would be lesser. Small talk is much more important in telephone call because if you do not care to inquire with your client how he is doing, he would think that you are too self-centered. My next point is, when you call the customer, have all the relevant information such as the product documents, techno-commercial details, everything handy for you to refer. When the customer asks you a question, you cannot say, I'm driving the car or I'm having my lunch, therefore I need to check and verify and I will call back. Those are not expected. Just like in a face-to-face meeting, your impression in the minds of your customers is dependent upon how good you are to respond to their queries. In telephone discussion too, the same applies. Therefore, as much as possible, do not call a customer while you are traveling or doing something else that doesn't allow you to refer to the relevant document. Towards the end of the call, take a few moments to summarize. For example, you may say something like this: "Thank you, doctor, for your time. As discussed, I will send you the technical details along with the quotation by mail today. Kindly revert back once you go through the mail." Summarizing along with the call for action from both sides will help you maximize the impact of your telephonic calls. Follow your discussion with an email even if there is no specific action agreed upon by the prospect. For example, if the prospect says, "Actually, I'm not planning to buy anything, still I agreed to connect up over the phone just because you requested me so," that's fine. Still send him an email thanking him for his time and also cover what you have discussed during the telephone call. Friends, let me conclude by saying that telephonic business talks are way different from casual conversations. It is a skill that we need to consciously master. As I sign off, let me share with you an old wisdom. That is, smile when you are on the phone. The person on the other end may not be able to see your smile, but can definitely feel your smile. I look forward to hear from you. Please share your thoughts and ideas in the comment box. Thank you and bye for now.